Guys, welcome back. 1776 or bust. On the table, you see this big beast of a handgun, which is the Springfield Armory Ronin Operator 1911 and 45 ACP. So this has a 5-inch slide, 5-inch barrel. It comes in all stainless. So this is a stainless lower, a stainless slide. So it is a big, big, heavy gun. Now, if you're into 1911s, great. A lot of you go to aluminums, 9mm, smaller guns, that's great. But I have not had a lot of experience with 1911s. I've shot an aluminum one. I've had an all steel one in a smaller size, but I wanted to know what it was like to kind of shoot this, this particular type of platform, being such heavy a gun, being such a big 5-inch slide, and on top of that, shooting 45 out of this gun. So of course I reached out. Springfield was cool enough to send this out. It does have to go back, so it's not staying with me. But so far, my initial impressions are kind of really high on this gun for a couple of different reasons. First off, this is not what I would call one of their top tier 1911s. But at the same time, looking at it and kind of seeing just the mechanics of the gun, I'm going to say that even at the price of $849, this gun has a lot to offer. There are some things that are detractors to this gun, just like any other gun. But for overall, just from what I'm seeing in the initial impression here, it is pretty sweet. So again, it does have that stainless slide. And then this is a salt-treated bluing on the slide up here, which is pretty nice. So it's hot salt treated, which is a pretty extensive process to make sure you get a little bit of resistance on that bluing. And one of the things that I did notice that I didn't initially even think about when I was looking at this gun is that there's a lot of cool little features that really show the craftsmanship behind the handgun, at least from what I'm seeing in my initial impression. So first off, you can see that you have this side here that is a very nice shiny stainless steel. So it's almost like a polished stainless steel, almost like a satiny kind of look. And you can actually see that in the camera, how it kind of hits the light. It's really nice. Then, of course, on the grip, you see more of a brushed stainless and even the underbelly of the gun right here. So that's actually pretty nice as well. And, of course, you see that checkering in the back, which is a fairly aggressive checkering. It would be nice to see it in the front. But, again, this is sort of, I guess you could say, a no-frills type 1911. You have a pretty nice grip safety right here with that little cutout here, that little bump out, which is now new to a lot of the Springfield line. And it feels really nice. I mean, there's no real pinching in there or anything like that. Your actual frame safety right here, it's very easy to actuate, no problems with that. It's not sticky or anything like that. I didn't have to add oil to get that to go on, but it is very easy to actuate, very easy to go on and off, and it just has a nice enough shelf to really, really feel that your thumb is going down there. I mean, it just feels right. I don't really feel like there's anything necessary to worry about. And again, if anybody can tell me where to put your support thumb, that makes a lot of sense. That I would really, really appreciate it, because that's the one problem I've always had in 1911s. Is I'm going to wind up throwing my support thumb in here. I just wish there was some checkering there to kind of give it a little bit more friction, but that's just me. Now, again, you can also see the slide. The slide actually has kind of that same look to it. So you have more of a polished side right here on the slide, but then as you go to the top, it's more of a brushed, or I guess you could say a matte finish to the top. Again, that's probably to reduce glare and that kind of stuff. The side picture on here is pretty good. I mean, one of the things you can say about, I think, all Springfields is that their sights out of the box are actually very, very good. Again, you can see that there's a little shelf here if you want to be cool and do those one-handed manipulations. It is the 3-dot sight with a nice red fiber optic, and that's something you always got to say is pretty good. You don't really even need to change the sights on this handgun because it comes out of the box doing pretty well. Again, if you want to black those out in the back, you can always just take a Sharpie and do that. The trigger here is skeletonized, and it is light. It is actually about 3.5 pounds, if you want to even say 3.5. It's just slightly under that, and it is a nice smooth take-up. So right here you can see, I mean, look at that. That's your take-up right there. And then from there, it's just a beautiful, beautiful short trigger pull. Very, very, very nice trigger pull. Here's your reset. It's very short. There's really not much play in there. And your follow-up shot. So it's a very, very nice trigger. Again, this is the initial impression, so it's out of the box. One of the things I also like about this gun, just looking at it from here, is the actual laminate grips that they're using here. Again, it's kind of like, I guess, a cherry color almost. But it just looks right. I mean, it just fits what you're seeing here. It is just really pretty, guys. Again, there's not a lot of words on there, so they didn't throw Ronin out there and make it like the entire length of the slide. And of course, you can see the little Springfield Armory on the side here with their insignia. One of the other things I noticed about this gun out of the box was the serrations on the slide. Holy moly, guys. These things are super useful. I mean, they are deep cut. You can actually feel the sharp. I don't want to say sharp because that might get you the wrong impression. But sometimes when you see slide serrations and they're pretty deep, you don't necessarily feel them on your thumbs or in between your skin. In this case, it is, I mean, they're just such a nice set of serrations, super easy to manipulate, even for, press checks if you choose to do that. But man, it is really nicely done. I mean, overall, I got to say I'm impressed with this thing. And I can't wait to shoot it. When I shoot it, I'm going to make another video. And honestly, guys, that's going to be the last video for a couple of weeks because I'm in the middle of that move. So I've got to reset some things because I'm going to be in a temporary location for a little while. But I wanted to get this video out here and kind of give you my initial impressions. Now, keep in mind, you get the Metgar magazine. There's only one magazine, which kind of stinks. And you have a little slam pad here. So if you want to kind of just slam your magazine, you don't have to worry about your hand getting caught in between the magwell and the magazine. So that's kind of nice. And you know, because it is a Metgar, there really should not be any problems with these magazines feeding into the gun. Overall, man, my initial impression, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I'm really digging this 1911 quite a bit. It's a heavy 1911. It shoots a heavy round. I can't wait to get it to the range and open it up and see what it does. But I get a feeling it's going to be a fun experience. There's just something fun about having a ridiculous heavy firearm with a very heavy bullet and just shooting things. That is paper and steel, of course. But overall, I think what we're seeing here is, for me, this might be the final straw for me to actually get caught up in 1911s. I don't know where it's going to take me because I don't know what's going to be next. But if I can get another one of these, maybe smaller, maybe an aluminum or another model, I'm going to definitely try to get my hands on that and review one of those as well. So we're going to do the range video after this one. And other than that, tell me what you guys think. I mean, do you think this is a pretty nice looking 1911? Do you think this is something you considered, maybe just as a range toy because it is a heavy gun? But at the same time, it's pretty sweet. So, love to hear what you guys have to say. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. And as always, everyone, freedom is never free.